Maple TA Exam Review Unit 3, question number 9. Identify the type of system of equations and solve the system of equations if possible. So this is very similar to the last one, and I think I'm going to go with the same idea of just taking both of these and solving for y, and then just examining what type of system it is so that we don't actually have to go through and find if they intersect, what that intersection is. So this first one, let's go ahead and solve for y to put it in slope-intercept form. So we're going to subtract 4x from this side, subtract 4x from this side. 4x minus 4x is 0, so we're left with negative 8y equals slope-intercept form. The 4x needs to go at the first, and then add 4 because it's positive. And then to solve for y, we want to take this and divide everything by the negative 8. So we're going to do divide by negative 8. Every single term, divide by negative 8, and divide by negative 8. Okay, so at the beginning, negative 8 divided by negative 8 is 1. 1 times y is y, so we're just left with y, and that's what our goal was. Here we have negative 4 divided by negative 8. Negative and negative makes a positive, and 4 over 8 reduces to, 1 half. And you can think of that as dividing the numerator and the denominator both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, which is where our 1 came from, and 8 divided by 4 is 2, so that's where the 2 came from. And a positive 4 divided by a negative 8 gives me a negative 1 half. So that tells me that I have a line going through the y-intercept at or the y-axis at a y-intercept of negative 1 half with a slope of positive rise over run up 1 over 2. Okay, and bring this guy back up here, and we'll do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides to isolate the y on the left-hand side. 12, subtract 12. 12x minus 12x is 0, so we're left with negative 24y equals, keeping that x at the beginning for slope-intercept form, is negative 12x plus 12, and then divide everything by that negative 24 to isolate the y. So I'm going to copy this here and put it down here for my next step. Divide by negative 24, divide by negative 24, and divide by negative 24. Okay, so negative 24 divided by negative 24 is positive y. And then on the right-hand side, 12, negative and negative makes a positive. And 12 over 24, divide those both by 12, gives me 1 over 2x. And then a positive 12 divided by a negative 24 gives me a negative. Divide them both by 12 to simplify, gives me, positive 1 half, or a negative 1 half, and I end up with positive 1 half x minus 1 half and positive 1 half x minus 1 half. Those end up being the same equation, so I have two lines in the same path, which means they intersect every single point along the line. Let's go see what options we have to pick from. Okay. So a dependent system. This is a dependent system. Let's see if they got the correct definition. There's really only one line, so any of the infinite number of points on that line is a solution. That is the correct definition for dependent system. The next one, don't get confused. It does give you dependent system. However, they're saying these are parallel lines that will never cross, so there is no solution. That is the wrong definition for dependent. And these are not parallel because they cross through the y-intercept at negative 1 half. They both cross there. And then the next one, an inconsistent system. This means inconsistent is two parallel lines. Here there's really only one line, so the wrong definition here. Only one line, so any infinite number of points on that line is a solution. This is the definition for dependent system. So this one here isn't even coherent, doesn't make sense. An inconsistent solution, or the parallel lines will never cross, so there is no solution. This is the correct definition for inconsistent system. However, that's not ours. And the last, an independent system, the lines will cross in only one place, so there is only one solution. This is the correct definition for independent, but ours are not going to cross at just one point. They intersect at every point. So that's our answer.